Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach Paul Tortorella Shows. We talk IUP Crimson Hawks football. This is Jack Benedict. And another win in the hopper, another game that was pretty interesting last Saturday at Mercyhurst with the final score 36-10. Coach, we've talked about this before. Slow start, strong finish. Let's break it down into halves. Tell me about the first half, first of all, for those who are not informed.
We shot ourselves in the foot early. We had an interception, returned it to the 25, and really got called on a penalty that wasn't a penalty, but neither here nor there. Then the next series, we actually score a touchdown that gets called back because we had two penalties, a chop block and a hold. So we take 7 points off the board for us. Defensively, we were playing okay, not great, little defensive. Couple mistakes cost us in the first quarter. And we just couldn't get the offense in any kind of rhythm. We weren't running the ball great. We're getting in long yardage situations. To be honest, after the way the first half played out, I was actually comfortable, even though we missed a field goal at the end of the game, down only 3, to be honest with you, because we didn't play very well. We gave 7 points away. We just didn't have a great first half, especially offensively. And then when we missed a field goal at the end of the half, we could have got the momentum back there a little bit, but was confident that we could get it turned around in the second half, and we did.
And you did, and it didn't take long. You got the ball first, and you went down, started establishing things. It looked like you were regenerated. I don't know if you used your Newt Rockne speech or not at halftime, but
well, I don't think. No, I didn't have a Newt Rockne speech in my pocket for that one, but we just talked about getting back to playing the way we play. We got to run the ball. We got to create turnovers on defense. We got to eliminate the penalties. We were fortunate the opening kickoff. They squibbed it. We recovered on our 44. They got a penalty, so we had a 51-yard drive. And we ran the ball, I believe, 9 out of 10 plays on the drive for a touchdown. We put Samir in. We were going to try to hold him out of the game, and we held him the first half, and he warmed up at halftime, felt pretty good. So we said, let's go with him to start the second half. He was a big part of that first drive and the second drive. Then I think the turning point really in the game was the kickoff after we took the lead. We tackled their returner on the 5-yard line, plus they had a penalty. They started backed up inside their 5, and then that's the next play we got a safety. Then after the free kick on the safety, we got the ball on the 40-yard line with good field position, and we took that in and scored and went up 23-10. So I think that 8-minute or 10-minute period there at the beginning of the second half was huge, and it turned the whole game around.
Yeah, I mean, something like the safety, you could tell everybody was just uplifted. The kickoff, the opening kickoff was a strange thing. I mean, it was just like, what's happening here? To IUP's benefit, though, but you just described, what the heck went on.
Yeah, I think they were power kicking it, trying to get it down, down to our returners, but mess with our timing. And they kicked it right into Anthony Davis, and he fell on the ball. He actually got, we thought, speared after he was on the ground. We wanted a 15-yard penalty, but they were actually offsides too. So we got the ball on the 49, and we had 2 fairly short fields, and we probably ran the ball 80 to 90% of the time on those 2 series, just rolling all the running backs. We started Samir, but all 4 of them actually had carries on both of those series, so we kept those guys fresh. Our offensive line did a good job. We did throw a couple passes that we completed on third down that were crucial. Sprint out to Swanee Brown where he broke a tackle for a first down. And so we kind of got our mojo back on offense.
Yeah. You talked about the running backs. Because if you're a defense, you're defensing IUP. I don't know how you keep track of the backs, because here's Dwayne. Brown had 73, Evans had 63, Bullock 51, Anderson 37. That doesn't even, put Lenny into the equation.
Right.
But you got possession, and boy, you kept it. Drives of 8:33 and over 7 minutes. That really set the tone for the entire second half.
No question. The bottom line is the second half, in 30 minutes, we had the ball 23 minutes. So our defense was standing on the sideline, obviously, for 23 minutes. Only had to play 7 minutes of defense. And they were part of it, getting a couple 3-and-outs. But when we had the ball in the second half, I mean, we consumed up a lot of time, and we scored. We scored 2 touchdowns right away. Then we were down inside the 7, I think it was 4th. That was a funny play there at the end of it was 4th and 1 down on their 7. We were going to go for it. Then, we decide, well, let's take the points and go up 16. So we put our field goal unit out there. The clock started running down, so we let it go down to a second, called timeout, started thinking about it. We were still going to kick the field goal. And a couple of the offensive coaches, Coach Campolo, Coach Gregory, Coach Barker, came over and said, we think we got a play that's going to score.
You were outnumbered.
Well, they were so adamant about it, and I'm confident with those guys when they come up with something, and they were so adamant about it.
Sure.
They said it's going to be there. I just said, can we execute it? I knew what the play was. We had been running it in practice, and it had looked good. And from a defensive perspective, I know it's a tough play to stop down there on the goal line. And so we went back out and did it, and he was wide open. The tight end on a little pop pass over the linebackers.
Yeah, C.J. Jackson, senior catch, touchdown.
Right.
We talked with him on the postgame. He was elated, and why not? Been a big part of this program one way or another for the last how many years?
Five-year guy.
Yeah.
Has done a lot of good things, with us as a tight end. Has had some injuries. Well, most guys don't go through a whole career without being injured sometime. But been a solid contributor. One of those guys that, program player that you need. You need a lot of those guys, much like the other tight end, Rex Pierce. Pierce had a big play in the second half, too. Caught a pass on the sideline. Was really 3 yards short of the first down and ran through 2 tackles to make a first down on third down on that drive where we scored on the pass to CJ there in the fourth quarter. That basically, when we hit that put the game away. We were up 20, and we were kind of on our way.
Mm-hmm. Before the game, of course, during the course of the week, you had to alter the offensive line because of Rocco's injury and so on. Mm-hmm. Did they do pretty well, pretty much what you expected?
They struggled a little in the first half. Mercyhurst moves their front a lot. When I say a lot, I mean every play. Mm-hmm. And it takes time to adjust. We knew they were going to do that, but it just takes time, the speed of all the movements. And, sometimes, though, you can catch them moving the wrong way and hit a big run. But there are other times, like they threw a strike on the last play before we missed the field goal. At the end of the half, we had a run. We thought that we were going to be able to make a first down, kill the ball, and then take a couple shots, throwing it into the end zone. But they had a twist going, and the guy twisted right into the inside zone. So we had to call timeout and try the field goal. Mm. But so it took a while. Second half, we were spot on with their line movements, and really did a great job in the run game. And then when we were passing in the second half, Lenny had a lot of time also.
Mm. How about the injury situation?
Well, it's kind of like musical chairs would probably be the best way.
Okay.
We're going to get a couple guys back, but we had a couple guys go down Saturday. During the game Saturday, Dwayne Brown hurt his thigh, but he should be okay this week. Malik Anderson had an ankle. He's going to be questionable for this week. Colby Hughes re-injured his shoulder. He'll be questionable for this week. But we think we're going to get a couple guys back in regards to JoJo, hopefully, Goss, and Matt Moad. Mikhail Makel didn't play. We thought he would play, but he has a hamstring, and it was really tight in warm-ups. So, we held him. We didn't play him either. So, from week to week, it's been, we have 3 go down and we get 3 back, and vice versa. And it would be huge if we could win this next game and get the bye week to get healthy. We don't have time to get healthy right now. But we haven't been healthy all year. Obviously, the first game of the year we played without our 2 best wideouts. Right. And we lost 2 running backs in the summer. So we have been, ravaged with injuries from before the season all the way through the season every week. Walt Pegues has only played in 2 games. Chris Woosner missed the first 5 or 6 games. It seems like now most of the injuries are coming at receiver, running back, and offensive line. Defensively, we've been pretty healthy here recently, other than Moad and Mikhail Makel. So Anthony Davis got hurt late in the game Saturday. He's going to be questionable, and he played a pretty good game. I thought our corners played a really good game. Damon Lloyd played a great game, and Averett and Easterling were really strong up front. They struggled blocking those 2.
Yeah. Westchester's lost 2 games. They've won 3 in a row, though. Formidable opponent, can score. Tell us about them, what you see in them.
Well, the first thing is they're the most balanced offense we'll play. I think they're averaging like 440 yards a game, 230 passing, 210 rushing. Most of the teams that we've played this year other than Ashland are really heavy pass teams, or every once in a while we'll see a heavy run team. This odd fits balanced. You know, they're balanced right down the middle, run pass. They do a great job. Coach Zwan's been running their offense as the head coach for years. They do a lot of things, Sometimes I wonder how they get it all practiced. But they're very efficient. Like I said, when you can say you're 50-50 run pass with that balance, and they're averaging, I think, 38 points a game, you know, that says something when you're 230, 210 rush pass.
Well, you guys are like that.
Yeah, and we are too. So it's a matter of obviously, if they're running the ball, we're going to be in trouble. So not only do we obviously have to stop the run, but their pass game comes off their run game a good bit in regards, especially early downs with boot and play action. Third down now, they'll get in spread and in the gun and throw the ball and spread you out. A ton of formations, a lot of shifting, a lot of movement, which was good that we played Mercyhurst because they shift in motion a lot also. But Westchester is a type of offense that the first 8 plays of the game, they literally could be in 8 different formations.
Wow.
So it's going to take a while for our defense to get adjusted. We have to have a great week of practice and hone in on what they do because, like I said, they're very efficient offensively. Defensively, they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They have a lot of sacks. They've forced the 11 fumbles they've forced. You know, they're defensively, they do a lot of different things up front with their front 7. And they play a decent amount of man coverage. But they get after the quarterback and they force some turnover. They don't have that many interceptions, but 11 fumbles forced is a pretty high number.
Well, your guys know, we all know what has to be done. I mean, you're going to be in the playoffs, but a win would do a lot of things for you. And I think what you brought it up at the beginning is rest. Try to get a bye week and get these guys all together and get ready. But much has to be done. But this is where you wanted to be at this time of year.
Well, of course, Jack, if somebody said you're going to be 10-0 and go play in the PSAC Championship, we'd have taken it in a heartbeat. This game's a huge game. Well, obviously, number 1, to win the whole PSAC. Number 2, you know, the only ranking that really matters is the regional rankings. And right now, we're number 1 in the region. If we win Saturday, we should be home for the playoffs mostly the whole way through. And we'll have that huge week off, that first week, that bye week, where everybody else, 2 will play 7 and 3 is 6, 4, 5. And that deal will be 1, and we'll have the week off, bye week to try to get healthy. We have been just, you know, ravaged, like I said, with injuries. We got to get somewhat healthy, and hopefully we will play well enough to, you know, beat Westchester, who's a really good team. I would say probably along the lines of an Ashland in regards to the type of team we're going to play in all 3 phases. Their punter averages 44 yards a punt. He's a big-time punter. Their running back, Elder, is a great kickoff return guy, and he's been playing there for 4 years as a running back. I think he has over 3,000 yards rushing.
It's a veteran team.
It's a veteran team. They have 4 senior offensive linemen. So they're very formidable. No, you know, they've only lost 2 games. One of them was really, both of them, they lost to Slippery Rock on the last drive of the game. Slippery Rock went down and scored late in the game to beat them. And their other loss was to Bloomsburg by 3 points. So they very easily could be sitting there 10-0 also. So the game's a toss-up. The team that plays the best, that you know, manages the game the best, takes care of the football the best, runs the ball the best, will probably win the game.
Yeah. Well, apparently the experts knew who to pick because IUP and Westchester were the preseason favorites, and here we are. Good luck, Coach. Have a good week of practice. We'll see you at Westchester.
Thanks, Jack.
Coach Tortorella with a rundown of the Crimson Hawks and the Golden Rams. It's a 12:10 kickoff at Westchester on Saturday. It's not that bad of a trip, right across the state. And we'll have all the radio and TV coverage for you this weekend. For Coach Tortorella, this is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.